Sarah Neal has the business news and some good advice for those of you who are feeling a bit awkward about needing to get rid of some of the stuff you were given for Christmas.
Absolutely. Sarah, Jennifer, have you had to return any Christmas presents this year?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I've got to go through. There's a couple of things I need to maybe have a little look at.
Jennifer?
No,
you're
good.
So good.
Yeah,
just grateful
really
to.
Good.
Oh, you're an angel. I actually had to return one yesterday, and I'll not tell you who it was from. My husband. So I am very interested in what our consumer expert Scott Dixon has to say this morning. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Sarah.
So, Scott, people who are returning their Christmas presents, you may not have a receipt. As Sarah said, it can be a bit awkward going back to that person to say, excuse me, can I have the receipt so I can return it, please? If you don't have a receipt, what are you entitled to?
You're generally relying on the store's goodwill policy. So if you don't have a gift receipt and the item isn't faulty, it's worth trying to get the original receipt from the person who bought it. But if that's a bit too awkward, some shops may allow you to return items without one. But essentially, you're relying on the store's policy and goodwill. And it may be worth looking online to see what the store's policy is. And a lot of stores offer generous terms over Christmas. So Marks and Spencer's, for example, they're very flexible. And if the gift is faulty, you simply need proof of purchase from the person who gave it to you. So I think it's worth just being nice and reasonable with the store and trying to be flexible. And generally they are at this time of year.
Always worth being nice, no matter the time of year.
Yeah, it is. You get what you give, don't you?
100%. From my experience yesterday, as I said, I was returning a present. I did have the receipt. What I didn't have was the card that it was paid on. Is that necessary? Now, they did ask me. And I thought, well, obviously I don't because I didn't buy it.
Proof of purchase should generally suffice, and it could be argued that the gift receipt that you have is proof of purchase, because without it, I mean, whoever bought the gift wouldn't have been able to get a gift receipt. So, it's just having that conversation, isn't it, really, I think,
So there's no kind of legal requirement that it needs to go back onto the same credit or debit card that it was paid with?
Well, if the goods are faulty, the purchase needs to go, the refund needs to go back on the same method. But if the goods are not faulty, you're just relying on the goodwill of the store to either give you a credit note or an exchange. You're not entitled to an automatic refund if the goods are not faulty.
You mentioned about people getting extra time because of Christmas. What about our online purchases? Because we know that many people will have done their Christmas shopping online. Is there any difference to your rights when you're returning things that you've bought over the internet via in person?
Yeah, if the gift was bought online, over the phone or by mail order, then you're covered by the Consumer Contracts Regulations 2013, which is known as distance selling. And it gives you the opportunity to inspect the goods to see if they're faulty, or even if you've just changed your mind, you can just return them. But the proof of purchase is from the giver, not from the recipient. So you've got up to 14 days to notify the store that you wish to return the goods, and you've got another 14 days thereafter to actually return them. So that gives you cover over and above what you would get if you were buying in store. Because if you buy in store, you don't have any cooling off period.
Yeah, because you've seen the goods in person, so you've bought them in person.
Right. So it's actually worth bearing in mind, when you, like in the new year, if you're wanting to buy things, just order it online so you've got that cooling off period if you've changed your mind or it's not what you were expecting. So you can click and collect sort of thing. So it's worth thinking about going forward.
Okay, thanks very much, Scott Dixon. So the moral of the story there seems to be, if you don't have the receipt, you're not entitled automatically to your money back. If you really want your money back, you might have to have an awkward conversation with the person who bought you that present. Oh, I know, cringe.